Fans are buzzing after actress AnnaLynne McCord, who plays Kat Green, recently shared a behind-the-scenes glimpse from DOL's 60th anniversary photo shoot. The picture in question has ignited speculation that Kat may find herself caught between two powerful DiMera men, Chad and EJ. McCord has been posting some fantastic behind-the-scenes content on Instagram, giving fans a rare peek at life on set. But it was one particular photo that set social media ablaze, featuring McCord posing confidently between Billy Flynn, Chad DiMera, and Dan Feuerriegel, EJ DiMera. Given Day's history of dramatic and tangled love stories, could the seemingly innocent picture be a hint at an explosive storyline to come? The idea of Kat becoming entangled in a love triangle with Chad and EJ seems entirely possible, if not inevitable. Chad and Kat. A slow-burning romance with potential roadblocks. From the moment Kat arrived in Salem, she has been shrouded in mystery. At first, her resemblance to the late Abigail DiMera was impossible to ignore, leading Chad and others to question her true identity. But as time went on, Kat proved she was her own person, carving out a place for herself in the town and in Chad's life. While Chad was initially hesitant to embrace his feelings for Kat, there's no denying their connection. DOL's writers have been building their romance slowly, ensuring that Chad doesn't simply see Kat as an Abigail replacement, but as an entirely new chapter in his life. That said, things in Salem are rarely simple, and just when things start to settle, unexpected complications arise. Enter EJ DiMera. EJ and Kat, a DiMera seduction in the making? Unlike Chad, who has struggled with heartbreak and the loss of his beloved wife, EJ has been a bit of a lone wolf when it comes to romance. While he has had entanglements, Days has never quite settled on the perfect leading lady for him. But could that be about to change? With Kat stepping into the picture, the writers may finally have found the perfect woman to shake up EJ's world. McCord's positioning between Chad and EJ in her behind-the-scenes photo could be more than just a fun snapshot. It could be foreshadowing a major storyline in the works. If DOL chooses to explore a connection between EJ and Kat, the chemistry could be undeniable. EJ is known for his charm, arrogance, and ability to manipulate situations to his advantage. If he sets his sights on Kat, there's no doubt he will pull out all the stops to win her over. But would Kat be drawn to EJ's confident, seductive nature, or will she find herself overwhelmed by his power-hungry ways? A family feud on the horizon? Chad versus EJ in a battle for love. One thing is certain. If Days decides to push this storyline forward, we are in for some serious DiMera family drama. Chad and EJ have always had a complicated relationship, and their sibling rivalry has played out in various ways over the years. But what could be more intense than fighting over the same woman? Chad is known for his deep sense of loyalty and his ability to love fiercely. If he sees EJ making a move on Kat, he isn't likely to take it lightly. And knowing EJ, he won't back down either. A love triangle between these three could ignite a war between the DiMera brothers, with each man determined to claim Kat's heart. And let's not forget, Stefan and Kristen are still lurking in the shadows. If a Chad versus EJ rivalry explodes over Kat, there's no telling how the rest of the DiMera clan might react. Could Stefan throw his own hat into the ring? Would Kristen try to manipulate the situation for her own benefit? The possibilities are endless, and that's exactly what makes this storyline so exciting. Will Kat be the one to choose, or will the decision be made for her? If Kat finds herself caught between Chad and EJ, she may be forced to make a difficult decision. Chad represents a second chance at love. Someone who has suffered immense loss but is willing to open his heart again. EJ, on the other hand, is a wild card, a man with power, charm, and influence who could pull Kat into a world of passion and danger. But what if Kat doesn't get to make the choice herself? Given the DiMera family's history of secrets, betrayals, and power struggles, it's entirely possible that outside forces will intervene. Could Stefan sabotage Chad and Kat's relationship to push her toward EJ? Could Kristen see Kat as a threat and try to eliminate her altogether? Or could Kat have her own agenda? We still don't know everything about her past. If she has secrets of her own, this could turn into an even more thrilling, high-stakes game of love, deception, and danger. While we can't say for certain what direction the Days writers will take, one thing is clear: this love triangle has serious potential. The foundation has already been laid for Chad and Kat's romance, but the introduction of EJ as a rival love interest would add a layer of excitement, drama, and conflict that DOL thrives on. If McCord's photo is truly a clue, then fans should brace themselves for a whirlwind of emotions, betrayals, and unexpected twists. Whether Chad and EJ go head-to-head for Kat's affection or whether she takes matters into her own hands, this storyline is bound to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. So, will Kat ultimately choose the safe, steady love of Chad, or will she fall into the unpredictable arms of EJ? Could she play both brothers at their own game? And what kind of chaos will this unleash within the DiMera empire? On Days of Our Lives this Friday, February 28, 2025, secrets, guilt, and surprising revelations take center stage. Johnny and Chanel share a life-changing decision, Sophia struggles with deception, and Julie unwittingly places a heavy burden on Doug's heart. Meanwhile, Maggie and Holly engage in a heartfelt conversation that unearths lingering questions and unspoken emotions. Johnny and Chanel's big announcement at the Brady pub. Johnny and Chanel sit across from Paulina and Marlena, their faces filled with anticipation and a hint of nerves. The young couple has been through their fair share of ups and downs, but today they have news that will change their lives forever. As they hold hands, Johnny takes a deep breath and announces, "Chanel and I have decided to adopt." Paulina, ever the protective mother, is momentarily stunned. "Adopt," she echoes, eyes widening as she glances at Chanel, who nods with a soft smile. Marlena, on the other hand, appears thoughtful, measuring Johnny's words carefully before offering a reassuring nod. The news sets off a whirlwind of emotions. Paulina, though supportive, can't help but feel a sense of unease. She knows her daughter's heart has been broken before, and she worries about the challenges that come with adoption. "Are you too sure you're ready for this?" she asks, her voice gentle yet firm. Chanel reaches for her mother's hand. "We are, Mama. We've thought about it long and hard, and we believe this is the right path for us." Paulina exhales deeply but nods. "Then you have my support," she finally says. Marlena, who has seen many families built in unconventional ways, smiles warmly. "You two have strong, loving hearts. Any child would be lucky to have you." As the moment settles in, the conversation shifts to the practical aspects of adoption. There are still many hurdles to cross, but for now, Johnny and Chanel revel in the first step of their new journey. Sophia's web of lies. Meanwhile, across town, Sophia finds herself trapped in a web of deception. She sits across from her mother, her hands folded tightly on the table. "Everything's fine," she insists, her voice a little too forced, her smile just a bit too tight. Her mother, ever perceptive, narrows her eyes. "Are you sure, Sophia? You've seemed off lately." Sophia swallows hard. She knows she should come clean, but the weight of her secret is suffocating. She had never intended to lie, but now she feels as if she has no other choice. "I promise, nothing's wrong," she repeats. But deep down, she knows it's only a matter of time before the truth surfaces. Julie's guilt trip and Doug's silent suffering at Doug and Julie's home. An innocent conversation turns unexpectedly heavy. Julie, always one to speak her mind, recounts a memory with fond nostalgia, unaware that her words are cutting into Doug like a knife. "You know, Doug," she muses, "if you hadn't gone up to the cabin for your poetry book that day, none of this would have happened." Doug's face falls slightly, but he quickly masks it with a weak smile. Julie, oblivious to his distress, continues chatting, but inside, Doug feels a crushing wave of guilt. If only he had done things differently. If only he could change the past. Julie suddenly notices his silence. "Doug?" she asks, placing a gentle hand on his. "Are you all right?" He forces a smile. "Of course, my love." But in his heart he knows that some wounds never truly heal. Maggie and Holly's emotional conversation at the Kiriaki's mansion. Maggie finds Holly sitting on the living room sofa, deep in thought as she idly flips through her homework. Sensing something is on the young girl's mind, Maggie sits beside her with a warm smile. "I just got back from shopping in Chicago with Julie," she says lightly. "How was your Valentine's Day?" Holly hesitates before answering. "It was great." Maggie picks up on the hesitation but doesn't press, at least not yet. "I'm glad to hear that. I was a little worried that Doug might have disturbed you." Holly's fingers tighten around the book in her lap. She remembers Doug's confession, his words lingering in her mind. No, everything's fine," she says quickly, too quickly. Maggie tilts her head slightly, studying Holly's face. "Are you sure?" "You know you can talk to me about anything." Holly forces a smile. "Doug told me he had feelings for me," she finally admits, her voice barely above a whisper. Maggie blinks, taken aback. "I see, and how do you feel about that?" Holly lets out a slow breath. I love Tate, she says with certainty. But Doug, he's nice. She doesn't know how to explain it, the strange pull, the unspoken tension. And Tate, if he ever found out, would he be jealous? Maggie sighs. I just want to make sure Doug fully understands where you stand, sweetheart. Holly nods. I think he does. But in truth, she isn't so sure. The conversation shifts when Maggie asks about the pregnancy and whether Holly has considered what might have happened if the adoption hadn't gone through. It's a tough question, one that Holly doesn't have an answer for. We'll figure it out together, Maggie reassures her, squeezing her hand. And for now, that's enough. The day ends, but the drama is just beginning as the sun sets over Salem. Each of these conversations leaves a ripple effect, shaping the days to come. Johnny and Chanel have taken their first step toward parenthood. Sophia remains ensnared in her own web of deceit. Doug carries a burden he may never fully shed, and Holly finds herself caught between past feelings and present love. In Salem, secrets always find a way of coming to light. And when they do, the consequences will be impossible to ignore. Stay tuned for what's next on Days of Our Lives, because in this town, the drama never sleeps.